at the South Point studio. Here's Jeff Parles.
Welcome in. It is Sports by the Book, the week of Thanksgiving. Happy to be with you. I'm Jeff Parles. Alex White is here as well, and on the far side of the desk, that is going to be a popular chair today. Chris Andrews sits there first, of course, the sportsbook director behind us, and a Bucknell Bison.
They're in the lineup today.
Very nice.
I took my daughter went back east to look at a bunch of campuses. I loved Bucknell. Penn State was expensive enough, so I'm glad Bucknell's a great school, but she preferred Penn State, which saved me a few $1,000s.
Lewisburg, Pennsylvania.
Great town.
In the middle of nowhere, but that's
it's a great town.
You know this better than I do, Chris. Everywhere in between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, most of those places would be constituted as the middle of nowhere, though.
Yeah. What was it? James Carville said there was Philly on one side, Pittsburgh on the other, and in between is Alabama.
Yep, exactly.
But there's a couple islands in there with where Penn State is different, and so is Lewistown. Is it Lewistown or Lewisburg?
You're gonna make me. You're gonna make me
look because one is not very nice, and the other is really nice.
Lewisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, beautiful.
The home of Bucknell University.
Yeah,
there
Lewistown is the home of the jail.
Okay.
You don't really want to go there.
You know what? Actually, it pops up here. There is the Lewisburg U.S. Penitentiary, actually, which is technically in Kelly Township.
Okay. You don't want to go there either.
Yeah, you don't want to go there either. Exactly. All right, Chris. I just want to before we get into fun from Thursday night.
Right.
It now turns into a weekly thing whenever there's an injury on a primetime game. How was yesterday for you guys? Because it was a weird day of NFL football for sure.
Oh, you're rubbing salt in the wounds. It was a horrible day for us. Horrible. I had 3 10-team parlay cards hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, oh, wow.
Well, maybe one every 3 weeks usually, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the numbers like, what the, oh, shoot. 3 of them hit. Yeah.
It's not great usually for you guys. No. Great for the 3 people, the 3 bettors that hit it.
Yeah, I mean, they played them on Sunday morning. I mean, he got the best of numbers, but there was nothing like crazy, so. What do you do? What you do? You pat him on the back and say, "I'll see you next week."
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you. We'll see you on Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah.
For week 12 in the NFL. All right, Chris. Let's do this.
I have something on my mind,
yeah,
Jeff, which is why I'm here.
Yeah, I'll let you. I'll give the floor. We'll give the floor to you here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got it.
So on Thursday, Mark Andrews, the tight end, probably the second best tight end, I would say, in football. Although George Kittle might have something to say about that. But he gets hurt early in the game, and Twitter exploded with guys who wanted their money back for betting the Mark Andrews props over. Now, all these places, whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, all those kind of sites, have opened up this can of worms. Anytime they feel it's a bad beat, they're going to give you your money back, which they really don't give you your money back. They give you a free bet. It's all... it's a bunch of bullshit is what it is. And rather than doing that, how about having decent straddles on all your prices? Rather than -$2 plus 160, -280 plus $2, why don't you have reasonable straddles? And I say that as very pridefully because I see our straddles and our, for most things, not every single one up and down the line, but probably for at least 85% of them are better than anyone on the internet, locally, whatever. So rather than having these phony little givebacks that are totally discretionary, and from what I understand, most people do not get their money back from these.
No, not this day.
Yeah. And like I said, is this your first day watching football? Injuries happen. That's kind of the nature of the game.
I think I know early game injuries very well, Chris. I think I know that one pretty well this year.
Yeah, and my wife, she's in a league and she has Mark Andrews, probably because the name's Andrews. But besides the fact that he's a pretty good tight end, But she says, "Well, I'm not getting anything back from my league. They're not letting me substitute
Right.
Kelsey or Kittle or anybody else you might want to." She was stuck. I said, "Yeah, that's that's the nature of bet. Listen, when you make a bet, you got to bet, we got to bet. That's the way it goes. Sometimes it works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't.
Well,
but that just really bothers me. Like I said, if you want to be magnanimous and run a good, honest sports book, give people a fair and honest bet. And we try to do that here at the South Point. Are we 100% perfect? No, but we point that way. We try to be that, and I think we do a pretty good job of it.
Well, and also, too, we said this after everyone lost their minds when Mahomes took that slide to end the game against the Jets on the Monday night.
Right.
First off, you can always bet unders. That's a message
Really?
for Frank also.
Alex, write that down. Make sure Frankie knows that, would you please? Yeah.
You can always bet unders. And also, too, I mean, if you can't handle losing, you shouldn't be out there playing stuff anyway. I mean, that's the other thing, too, Chris.
Jeff, this is a zero-sum business.
Yeah.
You know how much we make on a weekend? Well, not yesterday.
On a normal weekend.
Yeah. We make what the players lose. But and when the players win, who did they beat? They didn't beat some guy in the sky. They beat us.
They beat Jimmy.
They beat.
Yeah.
I wish I had beat Jimmy yesterday, right?
By the way, one quick note on Andrews real quick. Not you, Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
John Harbaugh did say today, at least for long term, that there was an outside shot that he could return if they make a run deep into the postseason. Now, it's an if. It's a lot better than what they said on Friday morning where they said he's done. The test came back and they were still not good, obviously, but they were not as bad as they feared originally. So
I lowered them 1 point in my power ratings. I mean, he's such, you hate to lower too many non-quarterbacks, but some deserve it, and he's one of them. I mean, he's the guy that Jackson looks to when he's in trouble. I mean, and listen, I mean, he's a tremendous receiver, and I think, we've seen how important tight ends are now to the way the modern NFL is being played, and he's one of the best.
Chris, I have to ask you this. Is the Jets switch from Zach Wilson to Tim Boyle the saddest quarterback change you've ever seen?
Oh, my God. Well, I'm a lot older than you, Jeff. Big surprise. Yeah. I remember when the Steelers switched from, where's Jimmy? Who was it? Dick Shiner, and who was the other one, Jimmy, back in the 60s? No, it was early. Kent Nix. Kent Nix and Dick Shiner. And those are real names, by the way. And the Steelers went back and forth there. That's the worst quarterback the saddest quarterback change of all time.
You're based off of Kent Nix's page. It had to have been either 67, 68, or 69.
That's about the time.
One of those.
Right before
years.
Chuck Noll.
Yeah. Well, things changed a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah, just a little bit when Chuck came in. All right, Chris.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We have an entourage here now. I mean, look at this.
I know, yeah.
Both Jimmy and Vinny in the flesh.
I'm going to yield my seat and go back to my day job.
Wait, I do want to ask you really quick.
Okay.
So, two of the top teams playing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Going into this, who do you have as your number one for your power ratings?
Well, right now, since they've gotten healthy, I have the 49ers number one. Okay. And I think these two, I'm trying to think what I they're either the exact same or a couple of micro fractions different, because I think they're two great teams, and I think to see a repeat of the Super Bowl would not be surprising at all. Yeah. I think they're two terrific teams.
Wouldn't shock me at all if we ended up getting that yet again. Just do down I-15 from here, of course.
Well, too many teams. I don't want to say too many. Just the facts of the game. Whoever's healthiest at the end of the year is going to determine. And we saw that with the Niners. They had a bunch of injuries, lost 3 games in a row. Didn't look very good. Then they got all their guys back the last couple of weeks, and they shot right back up. And if they stay healthy, I mean, I think they're the favorite. It doesn't mean they're going to win it, but I make them the favorite if they stay healthy.
It also goes for college football as well. We saw Jordan Travis suffer that gruesome-looking injury on Saturday.
What did you lower him, Jeff?
I'm at the point where if we're trying to get the 4 best teams in the college football playoff, unless if this Rodemaker kid looks really good in these next 2 games, it's hard for the committee to justify even putting them in a 13-0 with the other teams that are around them.
Yeah, I lowered them 4 points on. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I did. I lowered them 4 points, pending what they look like here.
Let's see. Let's see what the kid looks
his
like.
number looks. When you and I texted that night, I said, "Well, he hasn't lit the world on fire," but he wound up playing a really good game against pretty inferior competition.
Yeah.
But obviously the kid highly recruited. He has all the credentials, but credentials sometimes pan out, sometimes don't.
Yeah, and again, they get Florida this week.
We'll see.
Florida needs the game to get bowl eligible on top of it, and we all know how big of a rivalry game that is.
They're missing their quarterback too.
Yes, Mertz. I haven't seen exactly how bad the injury was, but
he got hurt last game.
It did not look good because he was holding his arm like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's out.
I would suspect he has a cracked collarbone based off the way that things look. The backup Brown looked okay against a legitimate team at the end of that game, but it's a whole different ballgame when you're preparing for that kid. All right, Chris, we'll let you go back to your day.
Okay. All right, guys.
Thanks,
Good
Chris.
seeing you.
Chris Andrews, everyone. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to do a hockey shift change here. Jimmy and Vinny are here. Big ticket already for Week 12 in the NFL that Jimmy has, and we'll get Vinny's thoughts on tonight. Where, hey, Chiefs by 3 is not what Vinny wants to see tonight. I can tell you that. As we get it going even further here on Sports by the Book.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone. And if you're craving a taste of Italy, come experience delicious Italian cuisine and the attentive service at Don Vito's. Our culinary team starts with the freshest ingredients and transforms them into traditional favorites. And don't forget Italian desserts. Don Vito's. Savor the taste of Italy. Finally, if sushi is more your style, join us at the popular Zenshin Asian restaurant and sushi bar, where we're serving up the freshest sashimi, nigiri, and sushi rolls. And beyond the sushi, an exciting contemporary Asian cuisine menu. Plus a variety of specialty drinks, Japanese and domestic beer, wine, and sake. Balance your hunger with Zenshin.
Welcome back in. Sports by the Book is the show. That's the back of our heads here in the South Point studio. It's a full house. Look at this. Jimmy Vaccaro to my left, Alex White and Vinny Magliulo to my right. I think I have my directions right this time, guys.
You know your left from your right?
Yeah, I most of the time I do.
Is it my left or your right?
Well, it's your left and my right, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. See? Well, that's how we do it. Jimmy, how you doing today?
Wait,
Yeah, go
you're
ahead.
confusing me by going back and
It's okay. I
when you're
confuse myself all the
78
time.
years old, it's easy to get confused.
Even at 30, it's easy to get confused, Jimmy.
Well, it's good to see everybody. Really, young lady, you look wonderful as you always do.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And you're here with the Three Stooges, but other than that, everything will be okay. Whoop, whoop.
So before we get to tonight's game, and
All right.
also Jimmy's reaction to the F1 race on Saturday as well, coming in this segment, you have, my friend, a better came in, and for making this bet on a Monday, this better has some intestinal fortitude. I'll give this better that.
Well, guy bet 22,000 to win 20,000 on the Colts, and obviously, you know, let's just call it like it is. This is the best weekend for someone like me. I mean, we start Thursday. It's full blast till Monday. There's full schedules and everything means something now. Obviously, a little bit different because when it's just a full house, which obviously we like, but like just look at the games, the matchups. Everybody's playing for rankings. Everybody's playing for like bowl systems. Obviously, the Big Four, can they make it to the big game, whatever? And then you go to the NFL. I mean, who the hell knows what's going to happen at the NFL every Sunday anymore? And that's good for bookmakers because, trust me, we don't know what's going to happen. And you're laying 11 to 10, and you don't know what's going to happen.
I was told Vinny knows everything now.
No. I know this. I know yesterday was a good day for the bettors, and to Jimmy's point, that's why this week's action started earlier too.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that game did open 1.5, so they laid 1.5 and they laid 2.
Now it's 2.5.
Now it's 2.5.
So
I mean, very early in the week, lots of moves. By the way, on today.
I'm curious, Alex, thoughts
Mhm.
on this one as we go through this
Sure.
week. There are a few games every week that I cross off immediately that I have absolutely nothing that I want to do with that game. Indianapolis and Tampa Bay was the first game I crossed off my list this week. So obviously people have a much stronger conviction than I possibly could have on that one.
I took a little bit of Colts minus
Okay.
1.5 last night, and I also did a little bit of the over 42.5.
Up to 43.5 now.
Good.
Yeah.
Would you take that team for your survivor pick now?
No.
Knowing that
Oh, well.
a bettor likes them that much.
No, I'm trust me, that's going to be a whole discussion this week in its own right, trying to figure out who I'm taking this week in that
It's a
pool.
tough
So
week.
What's tough about it too is you've got, to Jimmy's point, don't forget you've got the 3 games now on the 3 NFL games on Thanksgiving. You've got the college game, the Egg Bowl on Thursday night, where Mississippi's 11.5 against Mississippi State. And by the way, first time this year we've got a game on Friday, an NFL game on Friday. So the Dolphins, who are now up to 9.5 against
does that
the Jets.
constitute an NFL game still?
Yeah, half of it
okay.
for one of the teams.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Vinny.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that game opened 8 now. That's all the way up to 9.5. Now you'll see what happens on Thanksgiving is it's a chain reaction. It's like a locomotive. Locomotive leaves the station it just gets in gear and starts going slow. But once it gets on its way, it just accelerates. I'll tell you what, we've seen plenty of Thanksgiving week
What do you say I give up?
massacres. I mean, it can be very deceiving. That's why between the 3 games on Thursday and the game on Friday, it's best to have a balance of results between the favorites and the dogs. You don't want a one-way run on all of them because it just starts an avalanche.
And you can always see the power of the 3. What do I mean by that?
Mhm.
I was sitting in the office with Chris just a few hours ago, and the kids were there in front of the computers and everything and feeding it to Chris, and obviously and Chris making decisions on it. We kept taking minus 2.5. The minute he went to 3, took 30,000 back in the next 4.5 minutes because nobody wants to miss the +3 if you have anything to do with this game. Because obviously, barring something really crazy, it ain't going to 3.5 and it ain't going to 4, so you better jump in. So part of the rationale was they wanted to make sure they had that key number. Now, is it in stone? No, but it's pretty damn close.
Well, that's why, like I always say, don't blink. Alex, were you part of that?
We did not blink on the desk here.
There you go.
We
Good.
did not blink on that one.
Okay, so
Luckily, I had Jeff here. He was
There you go.
I was looking at the screen, saw it go red. I was like,
back to
Alex got
2.5
3.
as we speak.
Alex jumped all over it. So there we
Okay.
go.
There you go.
What a
Very
crazy
good.
week. If you had anything to do with this crazy racket that we obviously have spending our lives in, I mean, it just doesn't get any better if you start on Thursday. Because as Vincenz was talking to some people earlier and also on the panel, it's just things have changed all these years.
Yeah.
It was a big deal on a Thanksgiving. You'd be home. I'm going 1957, 58. You'd wait. My mother would be cooking something, but there'd only be 2 or 3 games on.
Mm-hmm.
Then that was it. So you stretch it for the entire game. Then actually just stop for a while. I mean, here we got full schedules on Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
and Sunday, and then into the Monday. So this thing challenges per people, per amount. You're right. It's maybe the best weekend of the year. And from our standpoint, you can't ask for anything better because, first of all, and the second of all, third and fourth and fifth, there's some great matchups. I mean, I wish they had moved this Michigan game back to the 5 o'clock game instead of the first game at 9 o'clock. But that's the monster game with all the sidebars going next to it. You throw this in there right now, wow. But I'm happy with this.
I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, this is also a great college basketball league too. You got
look at
right now in Honolulu this year because they had to move it off of Maui because of the devastating fires. Purdue and Gonzaga, what would normally be looked at as a final of this tournament, is being played in round one. With Purdue, by the way, taking their first lead of the game at 46-43 early in the second half there.
Great action. Great the college baskets. You know, we talked about this up until this week, starting today. The main attraction, professional bettors were the ones primarily paying 90% of the handle on college basketball going into today was professional. Now you get the public during the week when it's a little bit quieter, but everybody right now, the general public, is really involved with football. Well, this week now, today, and again with games all day long, now the public starts to get involved, right? They've had a couple of weeks to evaluate a little bit, and then going into tonight, they're tying today's games, especially a tournament like this one, like this Maui Invitational with quality teams, right, Jimmy? They're going to now take today's games and bet them into the Eagles-Chiefs game.
And, you know, as we're seeing, I mean, these basketball games are just getting more and more and more. I actually ran the sports book at the Atlantis in the Bahamas about a few days before, a few months before, where they made a basketball court out of it also. So I was never there when they had the basketball court, but you could just feel the energy because obviously just being like 25 minutes from Fort Lauderdale and Miami Beach, when we put the football up, it was amazing. And that was with your guy, Rich Waters, brought me down there for about 5 months, and I helped open up the sports book there.
That doesn't sound like a bad gig.
What's that?
That doesn't sound like a bad gig. Going to the Bahamas to open a sports book.
The spa had a saltwater spa. They did. There's a regular spa, and they had the spa. They pulled the water in from the ocean, and then Jimmy would be like this about 9 in the morning. The USA Today, the Herald Examiner, whatever. And where's Mr. Vaccaro? I think he's down there. I never went in the ocean, but I sat on a chair right by the sand. Ain't Jimmy getting near no sharks, that's for sure.
Jimmy, I told you, there's very unique elements for Jimmy, right? He's the only one that has a Twitter staff.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the only one that has spa power ratings.
Yeah.
There you heard
important.
that. There you go, right there. You want to know about it? There it is. So you got a saltwater spa.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it was really good. I went to now there's the Atlantis, which is here. Then you drove 2 miles over the bridge, and then you're in the town of whatever they called their name of their town was it then. They took me. I got befriended by one of the guys there, the local monster sports bettor. Man, I'm gonna tell that Jimmy whatever he's talking about. I'm gonna do it. He took me to lunch over this little cafe. I can't make this stuff up. It's so crazy. We're in this little cafe. We're ordering something and you could see a phone on the wall, a pay phone, like, you know, put your quarter in and dial it, whatever. I saw him go over there, and I saw him like doing this and doing that and whatever, and he's talking, I could see him. So he comes back over. I said, "Hey, where are you at? With your friend?" He said, "No, man, I was just updating my line." I said, "What the hell do you mean you're updating your line?" His guy in Fort Lauderdale was the bookmaker there, so he would call him and tell him what the changes are. Here's a guy that I was with, another guy I was with, betting 10, 20, 30,000 a game. He said, "Jimmy, this is like going to heaven." Yeah, he laid 4. The game was 7, you know, in Fort Lauderdale. Vincenz knows who I'm talking about, so he knows the truth. Tell him, Vincenz.
It's still the statute of limitations hasn't expired yet, so I won't name names.
I had a good time over there.
True story.
The
Very
only
good.
problem was it was just like they only wanted me to do it for like 7 or 8 months a year. I said, you know, Rich, but he paid me for the other 5 months for a couple of years because they're nice people too. So in other words, Jimmy beat somebody up and made some dollars.
Oh, there we go. Hey, look, I always love when you come in because we always get a story like that.
I'll give you another one. You ready?
Please, go for it.
Who gave these 2 donkeys? Eli Manning and what's his brother's name? Peyton?
Yes.
Do you hear? Do you see them doing the commercial for the sports book he's fronting for?
I've heard it's Caesars.
Yeah,
I've heard it on the
Caesars.
radio here in town.
They can't use the word Nevada.
No.
That means they're clueless. So why would they let somebody go on and like make a fool out of himself in your sports book? But I'll end it with that.
I will say this. Whoever gave them the copy is more at fault than the Manning brothers on
You're
that.
right.
Because whoever gave them the copies got to know
They're going to read that.
it's Nevada. And if you've ever been to the DMV here in the state of Nevada, you know within 5 seconds how to say the state's name properly.
That's right.
No doubt about
Yeah,
it. So-
unless you want to have your number called 2 hours late.
I'm not going to listen. I feel bad about the Manning brothers because I really mean it. They're obvious from everything that you read and you hear. They're nice people and they do the right thing. But you are right. Somebody gave them that.
Oh, yeah.
And they just read it.
Yep.
They should be fired. The guy who gave it to him his ass to be thrown out on Las Vegas Boulevard.
100% their fault. And sent to Hooked on Phonics, Nevada, right, Vinny?
That's very easy. It's not. There's a lot of pronunciations around the country that pay attention to them, especially when you're watching games, and you should be able to pick up on it as well, though.
Yeah,
Let's
you're right.
face it. I mean, everything is available.
Look,
no excuses.
I will say this, and it's also good. Our guy Frank Nicotero is walking in right now, so this is the perfect discussion to be having while Frank is walking into the studio. See, I love Frank has no idea what we're talking about. And
Sure, he
can
does.
have a laugh like that. With spending as much time in mid-Missouri as I did, Vinny, there are some that blow your mind with the way that they pronounce something.
Isn't it Missouri?
Although, there's Missouri and then there's Missouri.
Right?
There's also that, what Ryan said as well.
Wow.
But there's a line of demarcation of what
right.
what is Missouri, what is Missouri. And as I told you, actually, I'll say this one on the air real quick. Simon Bolivar, we know who that is, an historical figure. There is a city in Missouri that has a statue of Simon Bolivar in the town, in the center of town.
Wow.
But it goes by Bolivar, not Boulevard.
Wow.
Bolivar.
Bolivar, wasn't he? It was a running back when you were there, wasn't he?
Yes, exactly.
There
yes,
you go.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
I got
Not to be
a
confused
response
with.
on my Twitter site. The guy said, "Jimmy, thank you. I'm going to use the right, phrase with Nevada, whatever." And then a guy about 5 tweets later called him and said, "Jimmy, this stuff is spread like all over the world." He says, "I'm from Toronto, but they say Toronto." He says that's wrong. I said, "At least we find out. We're getting to some people talking about a very important subject."
Hey, look, it's a pronunciation for a guy like me, someone like Alex as well. We're trying to do this professionally. We got to get it right. We need to get it right 99.9% of the time.
No
Just
doubt about
ask
it.
the
kid.
folks that are from there.
Yeah.
It's very simple, right?
Yeah. By the way, real quick, gotta mention this since Jimmy's to my left here. If you're listening to us at Dom's Pizzeria in Trafford,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
we appreciate you. If you're listening to us at Steiner's, 3 locations across the valley, appreciate you guys. And then, of course, Oasis as well here in Vegas. So we appreciate everyone who's listening to us tuning in today. And if you have interest in getting us on in your place of business, reach out to our guy, Chris Andrews.
Happy hour
Yes.
at Dom's right now.
Well, Dom's Pizzeria when I was a kid was the pharmacy. Art Harlick owned it then. And then if we were a bunch of kids, right across the street was the movie theater. So what we would do is we'd come and get our banana splits around 6 o'clock in Harlick's and then go over to McBride's Theater one night. And the famous, I guess, cliche stay he would always say is like, enjoy the fresh air and sunshine. Now get your ass out of here. Because we were clogging up the doorway. Vincenzo's left. Like you never did that.
No, I went to happy hour.
Yeah, see, Bavalier. What do you call the guy in North America, South America? What was his name?
Simon Bolivar.
Simon Bolivar is the guy's name.
Simone. Wasn't that a singer? See that? I was right. I was right. I demand more money on my contract.
Break all over it. Vinny, before we let you guys go tonight, of course, we've already said this is a toggler.
Please don't have the Chiefs. Let's not have a repeat of the Super Bowl final where
Kansas City won by
Kansas
3.
City won by 3.
Remember that was a good result for you guys, Kansas City.
Actually, that one was,
Yeah.
which was, and remember the interesting part. In fact, I think it was just on replay
It was,
a little
yeah.
while ago where Smith-Schuster, right, just skidded out at the 1.5 yard line instead of going into the end zone.
Quickly. If they'd have had all the cameras like they did 50 years ago with Franco, they'd still be looking at that film to see if it was a catch or not.
I agree with you. They would not have. They still would not have determined if it was a catch or not.
The immaculate reception.
Yeah.
Sure, but ask your cousin Jimmy at
did.
Dom's. I was definitely ask Frank if that was a catch.
No. All right, put your hands up if you got wasted. Me, I'm the only guy in that area who had the freaking Oakland Raiders.
Well, you got the best, Jimmy.
I had Oakland,
and you got the best price. You got the best price.
Yeah, I beat the price and I had to run out of town for 2 months because I couldn't pay the guy.
Vinny, Jimmy, thank you guys as always for hopping on with us. Always great. See Jimmy exiting across the stage.
It's a must.
Vinny will duck out the right. But coming up next, we're not going to give him the old hee-ho. Our guy Frank Nicotero is going to join us next here on Sports by the Book.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza, plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book, over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Welcome back in at Sports by the Book. Boy, what a fun show this has been so far today. Frank Nicotero's here now.
What's happening? I was just looking at that Christmas tree shot in the sports book. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It's all sports ornaments.
Thanksgiving has not happened yet, and we're all ready for Christmas, as always.
You should have went into the department stores before Halloween. They were already Christmas.
Oh, I
department stores. How old am I? Yeah, those old department stores down at whatever.
Hey, they just opened. They just opened a new Macy's.
I didn't know that.
By Royal Crossing, if you know where that is in town. I would imagine you don't know where that is.
Is that near what casino?
It's over by the new Durango.
Okay.
Opening, so,
all right, I've probably been there.
Alex White is here as well. Alex knows where a Royal Crossing is here in town. So I can at least talk with the born and bred Las Vegan here the whole way through.
She knows everything about Vegas, I guess.
We
were talking about Capriati's earlier today, my favorite sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have the?
I got it. It's the only one I ever get. I'm very weird. When I go to a restaurant, I never really try different things. If I find something I like, I go, "Ooh, that's what they have," and I want that.
Do you do the hot Bobby or the cold Bobby?
How does it come? It comes like warm.
It comes warm.
Does
so
it come warm?
Neither.
Ryan used to make them. Ryan, does it come warm? Yeah. But I don't think the bread was toasted that I got. Maybe it was. It's hard to remember. I ate it so fast.
Warm Bobby. Everybody.
I got the room temp Bobby.
No,
it's very good.
The original one is cold.
Yes,
You have to
correct.
ask
The
for it.
original
So
is
do
cold.
you have
Okay, which I like. I'm very weird. We've talked about it on Punchline. I like cold food. I'm very strange.
It is the perfect time of year for that.
Yeah.
Alex leaning the original Bobby as well. All right, since I promise everyone who's joined us for 34 minutes, we will talk about this game that's coming up, the Super Bowl rematch, Philadelphia and Kansas City. But I have to go to you first.
Yes.
Because We were just talking about Dom's Pizzeria in
I
Chapel
know.
for the guys, Jimmy
Well,
and Chris. But you say you have a pizza story.
Well, there was
makes me very intrigued.
And it's Pittsburgh. So he was I was in the north end of Pittsburgh. He was east end there. So the north side, North Hills of Pittsburgh, there was I guess I can they're still around, but Belisario's. Okay. So we would go in there to pick up pizzas because it was close to where my mom worked. Now this is mid 80s. The guy who answered the phone there had he was missing kind of an arm.
Okay.
And he answered the phone.
Wait, kind of missing.
He was missing. It was gone. It was gone. His arm was like cut off right here. And this is an old phone that was wired to the wall. See, Alex, we used to have phones that weren't cell phones. Okay, you get it. All right, Jeff, you had phones and you had to dial. So he had the phone, and on the counter of the pizza joint, and the counter looks very familiar, like this, very similar to this desk. They had a TV.
Okay.
It's 1985. It was a console TV, like a full 500-pound console TV on the counter as you ordered pizza. And I'll never forget, and this was my introduction to sports gambling. I'd walk in, and you'd walk in, I'd go, come on, who's next? And you'd walk up and you go, yeah, I want to get a large fee. I go, hold on, the phone rings. Hello. You want the Yankees plus 210? All right. He would take sports bets, and he would like literally stop the pizza business, and they weren't shy about it. And they had rabbit ears, and they always had sports on, whatever you could get on 3 channels. And then Belisario's mysteriously burned down a few years later.
Mysteriously.
They moved across the street, which a few years after burned down, and then they went into a glorious new location. They're still around, and statute of limitations probably saves me from getting in trouble. But that was the first time I ever saw someone so brazenly taking bets on the phone.
That was a good story.
But a TV, like a console TV, like the wood encased in wood, and he would you want hold on, yeah, all right, you want Detroit -2? It was unbelievable, and and that's why I was like, what are they doing? And my dad would be like, oh, nothing. I'm gonna wait till we get outside.
Don't worry about it. When you get older,
wait till we get outside. I'll tell you later. Yeah. But had I known, I would have made bets. I'll take a pepperoni, a calzone, and give me the Steelers +4.
Of course.
Yeah, Steelers. I gotta go Steelers. And he caught the ball in the Immaculate Reception.
First off, the calzone's the most important part of that whole thing.
You like the calzone?
I'm a big calzone guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like pizza, but I do like a calzone if I can dip
they're
it.
both great.
There's extra sauce, I'm in.
They're both great.
Yeah.
I mean, a good chicken roll too. I mean, there's
Oh yeah.
a lot of. Hey, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Even though there's one pizza place that will remain unnamed here in town that did not do anything right a few weeks ago.
Okay,
but I'm gonna leave them unnamed.
All right, I'll find out afterwards.
A national chain that you probably should not go to. But regardless,
tonight's game, is that what we're talking
no,
about?
I have one more thing. I have one more thing before tonight's game. New Orleans.
Yes,
you were there last week.
I was.
You even met a fan.
Oh God, I did.
Of yourself and Punchline.
It was crazy. Yeah, we were filming. I host this game show that's on an app called Very Local, which you can stream for free, Hearst Media. And I do this game show called Wait, What Happened? And we take the little news stories you see at the end of a broadcast, and it's Hearst-owned news stations that run them. And then we have a little trivia question, and people on the street can win like $200. So we do tickets and stuff. Oh, what do we got?
We got big news here.
Excuse me for interrupting, but
yes.
The hotel operator just called. Please call Mr. Belisario. Please call Mr. Belisario as soon as you get off the air.
Okay.
Something about a bet on the Yankees.
This is my last appearance here on South Point Studios, Mr. Belisario. And this is well written for someone with one hand, by the way, because with a Post-it, you got to hold it down. I don't think that guy's still alive. He might be. But okay, thank you, Vinny. You would think Vinny would have my back.
Oh, man.
Vinny, a fellow Italian. That's hysterical. That's the funniest thing that's happened in the studio in weeks. Well done, Vinny. What were we talking? Oh, New Orleans. Anyway, yeah. My God, he got me on. I'm like, I feel him creeping in, like impending doom. That's from Goodfellas. So anyway, this guy who we had on the show, he comes in. He's like, I'm going to be your next contestant. He's like, man, I've been following you for a long time. He goes, I watch Punchlines. I went, what? So this guy watches Punchlines. His name was Rashad. He goes by Shoddy. He's going to steal the show that he's on. But he watches the show, and he's a Saints fan. So I figure next time we have a big Saints game and we need someone, we need boots on the ground in New Orleans, this is the guy.
Oh, 100%.
Shoddy. He was hysterical. But yeah, he goes, man, I watch Punchlines. And that was the first time I'd heard that. I've heard other people see a few things I've done, but that was the first Punchlines one, and I was very, very happy.
How was the game show, by the way?
It was great. We got some real characters. We shot in some cool parts of New Orleans. We had to deal with some rain, and it was overcast, but overcast is great to shoot on. So no sun, nice shot.
And what was the best thing you ate while you were down there?
You know what? I had the Cajun sampler. I had the New Orleans sampler. You get a little jambalaya, you get a little gumbo,
nice.
You eat etouffee. And I'm not a beignet guy. Stay away from the beignets.
Really?
Everyone loves the beignet. It's a donut with powdered sugar. Are you a fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
But I've tried it once.
If I want dessert, I want chocolate. So pralines covered in chocolate.
So you don't like Zeppelis then? If you don't like beignets,
I Led Zeppelin. Is that what you said?
no,
Zeppelis?
not quite. Not
Okay.
quite.
No, I don't even know what Zeppelis. Is that a beignet place here?
No, Zeppelin. No, it's like the Zeppelis. Like when you were growing up as a kid and you go to
Right.
a carnival, and it basically like the glorified donut holes, basically.
Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar. But no, I just if I'm gonna have dessert, it's a chocolate thing.
Okay.
We had funnel cake was big.
Funnel cake is big.
Funnel
so,
cake was big
yeah.
at Kennywood, which is an amusement park in Pittsburgh. And yeah, Zeppeli sounds familiar. But no, I don't like, if I'm going to have something sweet, give me chocolate.
Okay. All right.
This might be a big weekend for the Saints. I mean, they're playing the Falcons.
Yeah,
They're
unfortunately,
coming off a
they were on a
week.
bye. Yeah, they were on a bye because I was like, hey, who's the Saints playing this week? They're like, nobody. I'm like, okay. They're playing the Falcons, and I saw that Desmond Ritter has been named the starter, renamed.
Yeah.
What are you?
Whatever. Falcon. If I were, look, I have it bad enough where the Jets just had the saddest quarterback switch in the history of quarterback switch.
Well, you got Tim Boyle
Tim
era.
Boyle, yes, the one guy who might actually be worse than Zach Wilson. But the Saints play the Lions next week.
Okay.
So not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. So maybe that's your time to get your guy on.
Oh, okay, yeah, good idea. Oh, okay, I see what you're doing there. Yes. Oh, thank you guys are looking out for us.
So,
Yeah.
The final day of November. That's how you're going to celebrate us going into the final month of the year.
Got it.
So, all right.
That's good.
Very good.
We are finally going to get to tonight's game. now. Eagles, Chiefs. What a game. Arguably the best game of the whole regular season.
Absolutely.
Tonight. Number one in both conferences going into tonight. Both teams off the bye. We know Andy Reid is unbelievable off the bye. Nick Sirianni's had a good start off the bye as Eagles head coach. Alex White, our good friend, got the 3, was able to get it while it was up.
Oh.
Got the 3 with
Nice.
the Eagles. Frank, I like Philadelphia
I do.
outright tonight.
I really do.
I am on the Eagles.
I do too, because I still don't think, and I know people whisper about it, but they don't talk loudly enough about it. I don't know who the wide receivers are in the Kansas City Chiefs anymore. You got like Miracle. They brought Hardman back.
Yeah, well,
and
Hardman's terrible.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like since Tyreek Hill, they kind of lost their identity. It's like Travis Kelce and everybody else. So Philly just seems like a more complete team. And, look, the atmosphere, we were even talking to a Kansas City anchor on Punchlines, Dennis Evans, and what a great, atmosphere it is there and how great they are at home. And then I heard Scott Van Pelt going, oh, well, they don't lose in November and December at home, and Andy Reid on bye weeks. I do like Philly. I just think they have a sort of a swagger. And I heard that Jalen Hurts, his screensaver on his phone and his computer is him walking off the field after the loss in the Super Bowl. Is that right?
That checks out.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Is that not like, wow? Like this guy doesn't think about, like, how often do you look at your phone a day? 1,000 times. Maybe 1,500. You can look at the metrics.
I mean, I have the big giant Buddha as my background.
Well, there you go. You're very spiritual.
No, got to keep yourself level.
Got to
right?
get a
If
little
you open
zen.
it enough, you got to keep yourself level.
So I think the fact that Jalen Hurts is like, this is the one he circled on the calendar. Of course he did. It's the biggest game. I'm very excited to watch this game, and you can't say that about some of the primetime games this year, but I'm excited, and I do think the Eagles can win, and I know it was minus 135 or plus 135, plus 130.
Well, again, before all these single window games coming up after this,
Yeah.
I mean, we have to watch the Packers, the Commanders,
Yeah.
and Tim Boyle in 3 of the next 4, and possibly
The
Drew
only game.
Lock because Geno
Yeah.
Smith is dealing with an injury and
Yeah.
may not be able to go by Thursday. But Alex, for tonight, though, do you echo what Frank says in taking Philadelphia, or is this just, hey, it got the 3, this is a grab of the points here with obviously the key number of 3?
No, I was already leaning towards the Eagles. I do think they can win this one outright. I think they have an edge here with their run game because although Kansas City's defense has been much better, they have been giving up rushing yards. So I think that's where we see the Eagles take control of this game, and they definitely have the best offensive line. I know they're going to put points on the board here, and I do echo what Frank says, though. It's really going to be what Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce can do against this really good Eagles defense. So total-wise, though, I really am leaning towards that over first half, 22.5.
Oh, yeah, that's
because
right. You mentioned that.
I think they're both going to come out really quick. They're both off a bye. We know how good they both do preparing for these. And then I think we might see some, halftime adjustments and it slow down a little. Both of these teams have been first half teams this year. And I know they're playing each other, so we don't guarantee know what's going to happen in the second half. But we've seen, especially the Eagles. I mean, when they get the lead, their second half, they just slow it down, run the ball, and control the clock. So if anybody's looking for a late bet now, I would go over first half, 22.5.
I like it. I like that. How many tush pushes or brotherly shove or how many of those are we going to see tonight?
The Tookus push.
Tookus push, yeah, you can do that. 3? Over under 3? You over 3?
More. Again, I will say this. We bring up Kansas. We always look at Kansas City. We think of
What
Patrick.
the hell was that?
I don't know. I think Ryan just,
were you possessed by a ghost?
Ryan was not a fan of the Tookus push.
Oh, more. You went more. All right.
We always think of Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And we should, because he's the best player in the sport, and Kansas City is a shell of themselves if he's not there. But this is one of those games where Kansas City's defense has been great this year.
Yeah.
They have been a top 4 defense in the league.
Yeah, better in the offense
if
for
they're
sure.
going to win this game tonight, they're going to have to get another big-time defensive effort like they have so far throughout this year. I'm just concerned because you look at the way Kansas City's scheduled this year. They beat Miami and Frankfurt 2 weeks ago.
Right.
They held them to 14 points. I'm not taking a lot from that because Miami, we've seen them struggle to go up in weight class so far this year, and also the game was in Germany.
First of all, that's the fun. Did you ever think you'd ever say on this show, the Chiefs beat the Dolphins in Frankfurt? That's just something that probably has never been said many times.
I don't think it probably was even in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
2 years ago.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It just sounded. It sounds odd.
In the future, I mean, look, at some point, Bayern Munich will beat the New York Jets in American football. I mean, that probably will end up happening at some point. But regardless, you just look at the way this Kansas City defense has played.
Excuse me.
And they have played good offense.
Yeah.
They played Miami. They played Detroit in the first week of the season. They held Detroit to 14 offensive points. Remember, 7 of that came on Kadarius Toney, double agent that night.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
The Jags got held to 9. Honestly, just looking through it, like the most successful offensive game, arguably this year against Kansas City, was by Kirk Cousins. So they've done a really good job across the board. But this This really does feel like, though, where Philly has been. People have gotten out after the Eagles this year.
Yeah,
they're 8-1. They're number 1 in their conference,
Jeez.
and everyone's just saying, "Oh, they don't look good.
Yeah,
they don't look as good as they did a year ago." All right, fine. They're one Jalen Hurts disaster decision away from being 9-0.
Right.
Because, of course, the Jets managed to win that game. And in essence, that will be a draft pick screw up more than anything.
Yeah.
But this feels like the spot where Philly comes out, avenge the Super Bowl loss from a year ago. And, all right, guys, we're still here.
Yeah.
We're 8-1. We're 9-1 now. It doesn't matter that you think we're not as good as we were last year because guess what? Maybe even better than we were a year ago. It just hasn't shown up in the way that the stats have. By the way, Philadelphia, we've talked about this, Alex. They're in the middle of this stretch where they beat Dallas before the bye. They get Kansas City tonight, and then they play Buffalo, San Francisco, and the Cowboys.
Wow.
This is a monster stretch. And if they start to stretch off 2-0, then you can really start saying, all right, they have full control of the
field
NFC
advantage,
and the NFC playoffs for the second consecutive year are going through South Philly.
Yeah, and I when I was a kid, Ron Jaworski, Harold Carmichael, like the Eagles were my NFC team because it was Pennsylvania. So I like to keep it in the Keystone State. I like when AFC teams lose because I feel like that'll help the Steelers' seeding in the playoffs. That's right. I'm still thinking Steeler playoffs at 6-4. Well, I think the Steelers have an easy schedule coming up, but I don't mind rooting for the Eagles. It's not like I never rooted for the Phillies as a kid because they were in the National League East with the Mets and the Pirates. And I can't root for the Flyers. That's against the law in Pittsburgh. So the Eagles are likable. I always kind of like the Eagles. They went through some rough times. But, again, not even betting with my heart, but betting with my head. The eye test alone, I just think the Eagles win. And I do like the 22.5 over. I know we talked about the game is around 46. The temperature is 46. And it's Joe Biden's birthday, who is 46th president. So I don't know if you know, this is all coming together. So there you go.
Who's number 4? Is there a 46?
No, but there's 81s because he turns 81 today, Biden. We talked about they have Blake Bell, Ryan. Is the Blake Bell is the Blake Bell. He's the tight end for Kansas City, and then Grant Calcaterra, which is also a Nissan, a Calcaterra. Or that's an Xterra. But anyway, so I was maybe going to do an anytime touchdown of either one of those 81s over 46 in 46-degree temperature because I like to lose money.
I don't think Grant Calcaterra has been active.
No, I think he has 5
Yeah, I don't think he's been active yet. He has
That's-
5 career catches, though.
They're holding him for tonight. If you can get over half, they've been saving him. He's a secret weapon. They're like, hey, you know what? Sirianni's like, you know why we lost Super Bowl? We didn't have Grant Calcaterra. So put him in the lineup tonight. Fantasy owners, if you're looking for last-second waiver wire, get Grant Calzone Xterra, and he's gonna get a half catch.
Dallas Goddard is out. Put him in your fantasy
Put him in,
lineup.
Grant.
And
Grant
what about
C.
DeAndre Swift? Did you take his over? Because that moved
I'm going
already.
to. Already? It was 57?
It was 57.5. It's now 58.
Oh, my God. See, I thought that doesn't matter. See, I'm learning. It's an education for me. Because I had TJ Hawkinson last night, and I screwed up.
Hold on a second. Remember, Frank. Remember, as Chris, I'm gonna play the role
Oh,
of Chris
no.
Andrews here.
Oh, no.
You are allowed to bet unders. You do know this, right?
It just seems like I'm voting for them to lose. I want to see wins and winners and points. I know. This is why I'm wearing a coat made by Skechers.
Oh man, look,
Not some fancy designer.
There is something fun about rooting against human achievement, though. Frank.
That is. There is a dark side. That is a dark.
Yeah. That is a dark way of looking at it.
I like it though.
It does get dark too early now because of
It's
daylight
way too
savings.
early.
So-
Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
On the other side, you're also rooting for the defensive players. You know, like I
It's
try
true.
to give you unders in hockey all the time. You're rooting for those goalies and the defensemen
know.
to keep.
But you can't see their faces. You don't know if they're
it's
nice or
boring.
not.
You want to see goals. Yeah, I get it.
They might be mean and scowling. I like to see happy guys with one tooth out there
Well,
scoring goals.
I can't really blame Frank for not wanting to bet unders in hockey because he's had to watch a lot of Tristan Jarry over the last few years.
Yeah, exactly. And I grew up with
Hey,
Lemieux
was
and Yager.
Was
And
Tristan Jarry playing yesterday?
he did. Ryan, did Jarry play yesterday? I forgot the game was good. Well, on an NFL Sunday.
They shut out the night, so
Yeah, but why does the NHL even schedule games against football? What are they thinking?
Well, that was weird back-to-back for VGK. They losing both of those games in Pennsylvania.
And shutting out, us shutting them out was very surprising. I don't know if it was Jarry or not. I can't
I
remember.
think Jeff's on it. He's gonna. Look
I
it up.
gotta double check
for
it real
us.
quick.
Or Tom Barrasso. I'm not really sure. It's been a while. Maybe he came
So
out.
no Taylor Swift there.
No,
right?
it
Yeah,
was,
it's official. She won't
Sorry,
be there.
it was Nedel Djokovic or whatever his name is. For
Yeah,
thing.
the
So
tennis
it's not
player,
Jarry.
Djokovic.
Again, I'm very bad.
He uses his racket.
I'm very bad with these Eastern Euro names.
All names.
Unless if they end up in an OV, I can usually do that.
Fedorov.
but-
Yeah,
yes,
Sergei
yes,
Fedorov.
Sergei
That's
Fedorov,
easy.
Yes.
It's the ICH. It gets very difficult.
Or Barbashev. That I can do.
Who's Barbashev?
He's on the Knights.
Also the shaving cream I use.
Multiple, yes.
Barbashev.
Well, Barbashev was on the Blues when I
You, Ryan.
Barbashev was on the Blues when I was doing radio in Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
So that joke was made at least
Right.
65 times.
66 now.
Yeah, 66 now.
But I've never even heard of him, so that's why I immediately thought Barbasol, which I did use yesterday.
All right, Frank. Before we
After I ate my capriati's, I'm like, shaving time.
So I want to. It's Thanksgiving week.
Yes, it is.
I want to get into this with you guys here because this show really has not had a lot of sports in it. We apologize in advance, but don't worry. I will say this though
Well, it
before I
is.
ask you the Thanksgiving related question. We do have a different schedule this week here on this show. Football Friday is Football Wednesday this week.
Okay.
So 2 to 4, myself, Vinny, Chris. I'm sure Jimmy will show up as well. Football Wednesday this week, previewing all the games on Thanksgiving,
Nice.
Black Friday, everything you need to know on Wednesday this week. We're off on Thursday. Alex and I are back on Friday morning at 8 in the morning, previewing the day in college football and that semi-professional football game in the Meadowlands.
It's the Tim Boyle
between,
game.
between the Jets and the Dolphins. At least one of those teams is an NFL team we get to see on Friday. And then we're back on normal schedule on Saturday at 8 in the morning and, of course, 9 on Sunday, bringing you in to Week 12 and Week 13, respectively, of college football and the NFL. Frank, of course, is here.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have Tuesday and Wednesday. We're off Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, Frank, normal slot, noon to 1, both Tuesday and Wednesday, and then he'll enjoy his whole 4-day weekend.
Just going to eat football every day. What do you, I mean, come on. It's
Pretty
perfect.
good. We're getting to the end of the stretch that it was 50.
The 50 and 50? Yeah, I love that.
For that. But,
Jeez.
Frank, Thanksgiving-wise, what does that spread usually look like?
3.5 to 5. No, I like, I was always mashed potatoes and gravy.
Okay.
Had to be mashed potatoes and gravy. I think I mentioned this earlier. I never liked green bean casserole when I was a kid. It seemed gross. As I've gotten older, you drip those little crispy onions, which I don't even really like onions, but I like that now. Mac and cheese. I never equated mac and cheese with Thanksgiving. The one thing I don't like is cranberries, cranberry sauce. I don't do that. Otherwise, I'm good. And I like to kind of make it one big lump too, for the reheat. Right? You would get the crescent roll, mashed potatoes, gravy, turkey, throw it all in one thing, and that's good eats for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday games.
Alex?
I'm very simple. Just basically what you said about the Bobby. I like turkey. I like a little cranberry, and I like Hawaiian rolls or whatever.
Yeah.
rolls I
Oh,
have.
the mushy. Yeah, the
They're
Hawaiian rolls are good.
good, so
We always did
very simple for
the
me.
ones with the three little. My mom made it's the thing you hit on the side of the
Yeah.
counter, and the dough goes like that. Pillsbury, whatever. The little three. It's not a crescent roll, but
The dough man.
the dough. Yeah, the little three topper, whatever those are called. Those are good. You got to have a roll with the warm butter.
So I have two sections of my life on this.
Yeah.
When growing up, spread was always pretty traditional, all things considered, other than the addition of noodle pudding every once in a while.
I don't. What is that?
That is squarely they're very good.
What?
No, it's really just a put in the oven crispy noodles with some raisins on top of it.
Oh no, you lost me at raisins.
Yeah, no, the raisins. The yams covered in the.
Not a
covered
sweet
covered
potato or
in-
yam guy. Yeah, I'm not that.
Yam or sweet potato covered in the marshmallows.
Yeah.
Good stuffing. Good.
All right.
I'm a cream spinach guy as well.
Now nuts and stuffing. I don't do nuts and stuff.
No nuts in
No
the
nuts.
stuffing.
All right.
No,
Good.
no.
Or a dessert.
No,
Don't give me a cookie or a brownie. And if there's a walnut in
course.
it, you're getting it back.
And
right
then
against
turkey, of course, to start. But when I went after I graduated college, I was always like, I have the nature of the business. You have to work on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. So I got rid of the turkey. I went full blown. I went full blown the opposite direction. Forget the holiday, the Christmas ham. We made it the Thanksgiving ham.
Oh, okay.
Ordered my. And of course, I had no idea how to cook, realistically speaking. So I just got the honey baked ham.
Right.
Got a nice honey baked ham for myself that would last me from
A long time.
from Thanksgiving Day to the following Monday.
Yeah.
Got some good stuffing from good place in town in Columbia,
Stovetop.
Missouri. So yeah, easy enough. Microwave almost.
Yeah.
Oven, whatever's easiest.
Yeah.
And that would be that. That
Yeah.
was it for me. And this year we're finally going back to the turkey.
There you go.
Wow.
It took 8 years, but we're finally back.
Have you ever had a deep fried turkey?
Yes, that was also.
Oh.
My dad did that a lot.
They're good
as well.
My brother-in-law used to do that. Oh my God, they were so good. He almost set the driveway on fire one year, and me and my sister were rolling on the video camera. I don't know where the footage is, but yeah, it was when that first became trendy. But boy, it does taste good, and it cooks like that.
Oh, just be if you're deep frying turkey these days, just be careful.
Yeah,
Don't
be
do it.
careful.
Just
Or
don't-
have the camera rolling.
Yeah,
Every now and then.
one or the other. One or the other on the far extremes there. But,
Yeah, Alfonso Ribeiro may give you a big check.
yeah.
I think does he still host America's Funniest Videos? Yeah, he does.
What happened to Tom Bergeron?
Bergeron, he kind of just disappeared. Tom, he was let go at Dancing with the Stars, and he walked.
Oh, they gave.
He's got enough money,
so
man.
They gave
He's-
Ribeiro all of his.
Ribeiro-
because
he's-
Ribeiro hosts Dancing
He
with the
does.
Stars
He stole all his work.
Bad.
That's true.
All right. Before we go today, all three of us are on Philadelphia tonight.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs covered, please don't yell at us. That's all I'll say.
Exactly.
Just don't yell
It's
at us.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah,
come on.
it's Thanksgiving. It's a week to be nice, but we're all in Philadelphia
Are
here
there
on the
any
desk
threes
tonight.
out there? Like,
The
still?
threes are gone.
Threes
Threes are gone.
Okay.
So at this point, if you're late to the game, I would just flat out money line it. That's how I would
All right,
do it.
but speaking of three,
as well.
Ryan, you think over 3 brotherly shoves? Because I'll say 3 or under. You want over? All right, Ryan and I are making a bet. We'll find out what happens tomorrow.
What's at stake?
I don't know. What's at stake? You hate peanut butter. Yes. Oh, he hates peanut butter. That's
Yeah.
right. You like ham for Thanksgiving too, though, right? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. We'll have to think about this. I don't know. Unless you have something we could do on tomorrow's show.
You have the can of peas.
The can of
right
peas he
there.
still hasn't eaten.
It's right there.
We're trying to get Del Monte to sponsor us. It's not working out. I don't know what to think about. I'll stick with. I think it's going to be 3. I think it's going to fall on the number.
You,
Probably not.
wait, the game or the brotherly
The
shoves?
brotherly shoves.
Okay, I was going to say you just scared Vinny with that, saying that something was going to last.
No.
You don't want-
No. Eagles will they'll cover.
Oh man! All right, that's all the time we have today. This has been a fun one. Eagles Chiefs coming your way in about an hour and 20 minutes. Plenty of time to get your bets in. Right now, Kansas City a 2.5-point favorite across the board, including here behind us. 46.5 the total here at the South Point, and 46 is else out there as well. Frank,
And if this isn't a sign to take there's a dog in the sports book right now. Take the underdog. That's Philly. That's telling me to take Philly.
Here we go. Thanks, thank
He
you.
loves the signs.
Tomorrow, punchlines at noon, right here on the stream. Alex, we're trying to find a dog.
Where'd the dog go? There was a dog.
I'll find a dog. As soon as we're off the air, we'll find the dog on the camera. Oh, there we go.
You got him?
Oh, there
All
we
right.
go. See,
He was there.
We tried our best. Alex, we'll see you again on Friday.
Friday,
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, as
Thank
always.
you. You guys too.
I'm Jeff Parles. We'll see you again on Wednesday this week, Football Wednesday, for 2 hours from 2 to 4 on Sports by the Book, right here at the South Point Studio.